Hello, good morning. Today we're going to talk about reading skills. Again, this is part two in our reading skills for the week, okay? Today we're going to cover some stories that I uploaded into the Google Classroom. If you have um, if you have looked at the materials, that's what I'll be looking at today. Now, when in the Google Classroom, when it says materials, there's nothing to turn in. It's just information for you to preview. You can print out. And these are some skills we're going to cover today. We're going to look at main idea, some details in the story, vocabulary, as well as comprehension. Okay. So if you have the materials ready, we're going to look at the first story, which is called Sharpshooter. Now, if you've had a chance to preview and look at the story, you can read it with me, or you can listen, or you can just read it silently as I read aloud. Sharpshooter. Skunks are known for their bad smell or scent, but they are pretty little animals to look at. Their fur is black and shiny, and they have a white stripe on their backs. Their bushy tails are black and white too. They are black on top and white on the underside. Skunks are as big as cats and can make good pets, but first they must be fixed so they cannot spray their scent. When they are afraid, skunks shoot out a very bad smelling spray. This is how they keep their enemies away. The smell stays for days and days. The skunk often makes its home in a hole in a tree. It is more of a friend than an enemy to the farmer. Skunks eat bugs and mice, which hurt growing things. Now, can you tell me why they named that story Sharpshooter? Okay. The title of the story has to do with the story itself. The title of this is Sharpshooter. I'm going to put it in quotation marks. What is the main thing that the story is talking about? Okay. The main thing the story is talking about are skunks. Okay, skunks. Now you can tell from the topic sentence, if you have the material out, that the paragraphs are going to be about skunks. It starts with skunks are known for their bad smell or scent, but they are pretty little animals to look at. That's the way the paragraphs start. Okay, so let's look at, before we answer some of the questions, what are some things that we have found from the story that we could web around the sharpshooter, which is the skunk? Okay, how about the skunk's color, right? What color is the traditional skunk? It says, if you look in paragraph 1, it says their fur is black and shiny, but they have a simple white stripe on their back. So if I ask you what color they were, you'd say black and white. Okay, what does it describe about their tails? Okay, what kind of tails does it say they have? If you look through the story, it says in paragraph 1, their bushy tails are black and white too. Okay, do you know what the word bushy means? Okay, not small and thin, kind of big, kind of like my hair, bushy. Okay, now, so we know about their color, we know about their tail. Paragraph 2 talks about their size. What is the size of the skunk? It says, paragraph 2, skunks are as big as cats and they can make good pets. Do you know anybody that has a skunk for a pet? I don't. But it talks about their size. What is the size of the skunk? says they are as big as cats. But first, they must be fixed so they cannot spray a scent. Okay. What do skunks spray? Okay. It says when they are afraid, they shoot out a bad smelling spray. And there's a reason for this. Did you catch the reason? The bad smelling spray will, it says, be protection from their enemies. This is how they keep their enemies away. Did you catch how long the spray smell will stay on an animal or on an object? It says for days and days. Not a good thing to get sprayed by a skunk, right? The last paragraph said the skunk often makes its home in a hole in a tree. So that's something else you can write. The skunk's home is often a hole in the tree. It's more of a friend than an enemy to the farmer. And it tells you why in the closing sentence that the skunk is a friend. Skunks eat bugs and mice, which hurt the growing things, crops and such, okay? Now that we have our information, let's see if we can answer the questions, okay? Now we've covered the main ideas of the paragraph. You can always take notes and write out what you think the main ideas are. These are the details that I read you about, okay? So the main idea is here, the skunks. These, the little web that Miss Gaylord made, are the details. The color, the size, the spray, the tail, the protection. All of those are the details, okay? So as we look at the story, I may ask you what some vocabulary words are from what we read. Okay, let's start with the first. The skunk is about as big as a, what do you think it is? A cat. Good. What kind of figurative language uses like or as? We've talked about these two words, and it compares two things. Okay, it says the skunk is about as big, so it uses as a what? A cat. Okay, there's a simile for you, a simile. Now, from the story, after you read the story, I'm going to give you 4 choices here. What can you tell about skunks? Can you tell? A, their spray serves a purpose. There's a reason why they spray. B, skunks are harmful to farmers. C, they like to eat insects. Or D, they live underground. Now, remember, we ruled 2 of those out. We know that it cannot be 2 of those. We know they don't live underground because it says most skunks live in a hole in the tree. Good. We can rule out that one. And do they harm farms? No, it says usually they are a friend to the farmer because they eat the bugs and insects, right? Bugs and mice, okay? Now, there's 2 choices left. What can you tell from this story? A, the spray serves a purpose, or all skunks like to eat insects. They both sound like they could be right, but the best answer is that spray serves a purpose. What is the purpose? To frighten the enemies away, right? Now, here's another one I need you to choose from. What is the main idea of this story? I'm going to give you 3 choices, right? Was it where skunks live, or was that a detail? Okay, if it's on this web, it's a detail, right? Was the main idea where they live, how they help farmers, or what skunks are like? Well, the main idea, is it where they live? No, that's a detail, their home. Is it how they help farmers? No, that's a detail, they're a friend. Or is it what skunks are like? Yes. Okay, so the main idea would be what skunks are like. Now, let's look at a vocabulary word from this story. What word that I read to you, I'm going to read you the sentence again, means to shoot a liquid. Shoot a liquid. Okay, let's see. Skunks are as big as cats and can make good pets, but first they must be fixed so that they cannot spray their scent. What word means to shoot a liquid? Spray. Spray. Well, you can look at the words around it if you don't know the meaning of spray by looking at the word spray their scent. And then it says they let out a bad smelling spray. So you know it has to be something that shoots out. Okay. Let's wrap this lesson up with true or false. Skunks. Let's see. True or false? Skunks make their homes in trees. True or false? True. Okay. Skunks are brown and gray. False. And the last thing, do you remember the skill we talked about, fact and opinion? A fact is something that is proven. A fact can be proven. An opinion is what someone thinks. Let's look at this answer. Is it fact or opinion? Skunks can make a good pet. Fact or opinion? That's your opinion. That's what you think. Okay. All right. So that was story number 1. We're going to do another one today. If you looked at the materials Miss Gaylor gave you, now not only can you use this for reading skills, but you can practice this for what we call reading fluency. Print it out, or if you don't have a printer, look at it on the screen and read it out loud to someone or yourself several times. See during the week if you can read the story better and better and better through the week, okay? All right, so the next one we're going to look at is called birds of prey. Do you remember that word prey we talked about in science? Miss Gaylor did a unit a few weeks ago while we were live lessons and videos about prey and predators, okay? Do you remember what the word prey was? Birds of prey. Okay. Prey is the animal that is being harmed, the one that's being eaten. Predator is the one that's doing the eating. Okay. So if a bird of prey is called that as a nickname because it is going to eat other animals. Okay. So I'm going to start by reading the passage. I hope that you've read it already. If not, you can always read it with me. Press pause, print it out, or just listen along. Eagles are birds of prey. Hawks and owls are birds of prey too. Birds of prey eat live animals such as squirrels, mice, and frogs. They catch these little animals with their feet. Eagle toes are thick and very strong. All the toes are tipped with long, hooked claws. The toes and claws are used to take hold of the animals that the eagle catches and eats. All eagles have hooked claws and they have large, strong beaks. Still, there are many different kinds of eagles. In the United States, only 2 kinds of eagles are seen. Have you seen them? They are the bald eagle and the golden eagle. Eagles are very large birds. Their nests are also very large. Miss Gaylord's seen some of their nests. Some of them are, the nest could be as wide as 8 feet long. It's longer than my hands. It's longer than I am tall. That's a large nest, okay? Now let's talk about some of these things. Now we're also going to look at this story's main idea, details, some vocabulary, and a few other things, okay? All right. Can you tell me already why did they name this story Birds of Prey? Well, they are the birds that go after the prey, right? Now, this story gave you details of 3 kinds of birds of prey to begin with. It started out in paragraph 1. Listen if you can tell me 3, and we'll put them on our web, okay? Eagles are birds of prey. Hawks and owls are birds of prey too. Did you catch the 3 types already? Okay, so we want to start with 3 types of birds that we know that eat prey. Eagles. It mentions what other 2? Owls and hawks. Good. Birds of prey eat live animals. Is that going to be something important that I want to put on my web? Yes. Okay, they eat live animals. That's what qualifies them as a bird of prey. What are some of those small animals they could swoop down and eat? Squirrels, mice, and frogs. They catch these little animals with their blank. Did you catch what word I read out? They catch with their feet. Usually their feet, not their sharp beak, but their feet. They scoop up after they fly down and they catch them with their feet. Let's listen how. Eagles' toes are thick and strong. Let's put that in our detail. Toes. And very strong. All the toes are tipped with a hooked claw. Let's put that in our details. A hooked claw. Okay. The toes and claws are used to take hold of the animal that the bird swoops and catches and eats. All eagles have hooked claws, and they also have a strong beak. Strong beak. Still, there are many different kinds of eagles. In the United States, there are 2 kinds of eagles that are seen. Okay, there are 2 types of eagles. Do you remember what I said? What's the one that has the white head? We nicknamed it the bald eagle. It's America's national bird, right? The bald eagle and the golden eagle. Eagles are very large birds. Their nests are also large. Let's put that into detail. Some are as wide as 8 feet across. Okay, so let's look at what our main idea was. What was the main idea of this story? Birds of prey. Now note, I didn't just put one bird of prey. I listed the ones they mentioned. I mentioned the owls, the hawks, and the eagles. Now they have something in common. This story mostly focused on the eagles, right? But they also have some things in common if they're going to be a bird of prey. What are some of those things? Hooked claws, toes. They eat live animals, big nests, catch with feet, strong beaks. Very good. Those are some details that you learned about the eagles, right? Okay, so let's look and see if we can answer some comprehension questions. Okay, so number 1, what's a vocabulary word from the story that you call birds that catch live animals and eat them? Birds that catch live animals and eat them are called birds of prey, right? Birds of prey. Now, this is a question I want you to listen to the choices. There's several. From the story, you can tell. When a question says that, is it going to be exactly in the story where you can go back and underline it like we do in class? Not always. If it says from the story, you can tell, which means that you can decide that with your thing. From the story, you can tell A, the bald eagle is a small bird. From the story, you can tell eagles eat plants. Or from the story, you can tell that eagles are strong. Which one of those makes sense? Does it say eagles are a small bird? No, when the eagle spreads its wings, it can be up to 8 feet. Do eagles eat plants? No. So the only answer you can choose is from the story, I can tell eagles are strong. Very good. Now, this story mentions what a bird of prey is first, and then it develops by talking about one specific animal. If you had to tell me what this story was mostly about, would you say owls, hawks, eagles, or small animals that eagles eat? What did the story mostly spend its time talking about? Eagles. Eagles. Very good. Okay. Let's answer a couple of questions. True or false? The bald eagle lives in the United States. Is that true? I can prove it, or false? Yes, okay. The story said there are 2 kinds of eagles that live in the United States. You could go back and underline those on your paper. What are those 2 types that live in the United States? Bald eagles and golden eagles. Very good. Okay. Now, let's look at these 2 again. Let's look at some questions that are fact or opinion. Now, which one of these is what one thinks? What someone thinks is your opinion. Facts can be proven. Okay, tell me if this is a fact or an opinion. Eagles' nests are very large. That's kind of tricky, isn't it? That's kind of tricky. That would be really a opinion. What's large to me might not be large to an elephant, right? Okay, so that would be an opinion. Eagles have claws. Fact or opinion? Fact. That's a proven fact. You can prove that, okay? Very good. Now, what word, let's go back and look at some vocabulary. What word in the story means having a sharp bend? Let's go back and look. Eagle's toes are thick and very strong. All the toes are tipped with long, hooked claws. The toes and claws are used to take hold of the animal. What is made of a sharp bend? This would be straight. This would be bent. What is made of a sharp bend there? The word is a claw. A claw. Very good. Okay, new vocabulary you may not have known. All right, so a couple other things. What were the animals that it says these birds of prey often eat? It's in paragraph 1 if you have your paper. Eagles are birds of prey. Hawks and owls are birds of prey too. Birds of prey eat live animals such as squirrels, mice, and frogs. They catch these little animals with their feet. What kind of animals could be caught by a large eagle? Squirrels, mice, and frog. Yes. Do you think those animals see that large eagle coming? Do you know they don't? They're fast. And do you know another thing that we talked about in science was the word adaptation. Okay, let's just go over that real quickly. An adaptation is something that an animal or plant has to help it survive in the environment, right? What are some of the adaptations of the eagle? What does an eagle have? Okay, it has the large wings. It helps it be strong and fly fast. It has several. Wings are one. What else? Claws, good. The sharp, curved claws. It says the eagle gets the animals not with its beak, but it swoops down and gets the animals with their claws. It also has a sharp, strong beak, is another one. Can you tell me one more the story did not mention besides beak, wings, and claws? Do you know there's one more the eagle has? Do you know the eagle has sharp eyesight? They can spot a mouse from, way up in the sky. That's another adaptation for you. We didn't have time today yet to review this third story. I want you to print that out if you've not done so. It's called Moving Air. I want you to read that on your own. Go back and read 3 stories for fluency, okay? That means read them each day. You can read them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then by the 4th day, you should be able to read the story very fluently, okay? Are you practicing your I Ready still? Make sure you're working on those. There's also several things in the Google Classroom that you need to complete, including there's a reading fluency sheet on apple picking, okay? Thank you for joining me today, and hopefully I'll see you again tomorrow with the next class, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.